All right, tumors. Today we got the first episode of Mind Cancer Podcast. Our host, me, Makola. We got Christian.
Hello.
Alex.
Yo.
Taylor.
How you doing?
And Austin.
What up?
Today's first topic, something I've recently been converted to. Taylor's about converted. Austin's going to be converting in a little bit. Christian's kind of the one that got us all into it. Console versus PC. I've been enjoying it a lot. Christian's been having the most experience with it, however many years. What would you say is probably the best thing over console?
Probably the wide selection of games and the amount of customization that you can do. And there's about no limits as to what you can do with a PC compared to what you can do with a console.
I love how when developers just can't get their stuff together, just the community just comes together and fixes everything. Just all the mod support. You ever get just a completely broken game besides 76? The community usually comes together to fix it. Austin, what you got?
So, I think one of the biggest things about why I want to change is the fact that with Xbox, it's just one thing. With PC, you can upgrade it and change it to like your best interest. You can change like the look of whatever you want.
It's not gonna just die out when the next one comes out.
Yeah, you can always just upgrade when you need to. It's just a lot easier, better for money, and you can always just play whatever at really good settings.
I also really enjoy just the sheer amount of sales on everything.
Yep.
I rarely ever pay full price for a game because I'll put it on my wish list and I'll just kind of wait a little bit and then I'll just get that an item on your wish list is on sale notification. It's just amazing. What are you two doing?
I'm wrestling.
Okay.
I mean, to me, I think it's just a lot easier to like manage everything. Like you can get so much more storage in games and just without any worry.
I also like it's kind of like the Android versus iPhone thing. It's like you can control everything so much more on PC. It's yours, and like you can change the files, the everything you want. Taylor.
Yeah, well, I think for me, the main thing is again, just kind of the variety of options that you actually have with a PC. So, like, console, let's say, I want to use it as not just a gaming device, but also something that I want to capture gameplay on, alright? It's just not going to be as good and a fulfilling experience as...
Or do something like this.
And, you know what I mean? A PC, you can have it be your workstation. You can use it for editing, recording video off a capture card. You can use it for gaming, looking up whatever you degenerates and tumors out there be looking up, And it's just a great tool to have, and once again, control over it.
Everything's also just, it's so easier to just move around. Like Xbox, if you want to go watch YouTube after playing a game, that takes a little bit. But if you just open your browser, or close your game, open your browser, open it up, you just got everything you need.
I mean, I can understand why people get a console. I mean, consoles aren't bad.
No, I'm not saying consoles are bad.
Like, let's say you get a PS4.
Yeah, I don't think
like games like Spider-Man, God of War. It's totally worth it.
Yeah,
like you have
those are
Halo on
amazing
Xbox.
games.
I mean, there's good reasons to get them, but to me, I feel like PC is just more reliable for what I want to do, like the games I want to play.
Yeah.
And I think it's just better for me. And I mean, I can understand like people like have a budget and they can't really afford a PC. I mean, it's all good. It's all in the best interest, but
also some people don't really have the time to put into it. You just I grab this box quick, I plug it in, and I'm set.
Yep. Yeah. For me, I think a big part of it too is like the intimidation factor. PC. It's all these things that are.
It's so overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. It's up to you. They put like a console.
Oh no, your Thumbcat's here.
You look a console. You look up the specs, and you know exactly what you're getting for that amount of money that you're putting forward. You know that there's a quality assurance, and you know that hopefully this is coming good out of the box. You might get a game bundled with it, sick ass controller, But with a PC, it's kind of up to you. And at the end of the day, I think if you can just take that first step and get over that intimidation factor, for the same amount of money, that $500, $400 budget, you could make something that's pretty decent and able to do a lot more than a console could. But
I never liked getting off-brand controllers for consoles.
They never work as
well. You go over to your friend's house, want to play some Black Ops 2 Zombies, and he hands you that rock candy red see-through controller. And
You
it's
guys
just,
do that at fucking
Oh.
Mad Cats.
No, not the Mad. What was it? Was it the PS2? They kept breaking down.
Yep.
They were not reliable. But like this, Corsair, Logitech, like SteelSeries. There's so many different options, and it never really feels like you're getting a quality downgrade. Like when you get something that's not Microsoft, like not a Microsoft product for your Xbox, it doesn't feel like it belongs really. Or like, you can have so many things mismatched. Like, I think when I made this PC, there was not a single thing that was the same brand. Everything was from one different brand. And that's so nice. Just the customization you have with it is amazing. All right, next topic. Yep, y'all good on that one?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Next topic. Games that affected you. Just kind of, what hit you the most when you got to that end credit scene and just you felt like you just had a blast, or you were taken through the emotions? What's just giving you the biggest dip?
I think I got a pretty good one to start. For me, it was definitely a game that's bit close to my heart. It came out the same day I did, July 15th, 2003. Knights of the Old Republic for the original Xbox. That game, something about it, it just, it was in my life as long as I could remember. My dad and my brother, played it countless times in front of me, and it was really my first experience with a role-playing game, and really first meaningful experience with the Star Wars universe. So for me, it was just kind of one of those things that just hit every single one of my interests. It had sci-fi, it had choices, companions, and a crazy twist that I know it might be 16 years, but I don't want to spoil it.
I so many things with the Star Wars franchise now. It's
Complicated.
its reputation has dipped so much. Everything just seems like a cash grab. Well, you can go back to something like that that's just so full of heart.
Exactly.
People made it with care. They wanted something good for this series.
It's like looking through a photo book and like looking through memories of a friend who's now like a deep drug addict, and you're like, yo, better times.
Yeah.
Before you were willing to, sell your Mercedes so you could get, another hit.
Before you broke Adam Driver's back, making him carry the whole trilogy.
Yeah, and Ewan's. Let's not forget our boy.
Yeah. Christian, most affected.
Oh, I don't think it was most affected, but it was highly affected, and that was from my childhood. The original Roller Coaster Tycoon game, Stronghold Crusader. Those were both games that my father and my brother introduced to me, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I can manage every aspect of this and run it how I want to. And that was really appealing to me because all the other games were conforming you to a certain pathway, but with this you could build whatever you wanted to and run it how you wanted to.
For the first time, having choice in what you did.
Yeah.
Anything to do mine? Mine's not really a game I enjoyed so much per se, but just glad that somebody else enjoyed it with me. It's Super Mario 64. I never had really a lot of money growing up, so when I knew my dad, he had a N64. Used to play, what was there? Killer Instinct, one of the first ones. Ocarina of Time for a little bit, and I just remember vividly him playing Mario 64 with me. It was just a time where he wasn't drunk, he wasn't on anything. He was just having a genuinely good time. I go back and play it, and I don't enjoy it that much. It's just the memories associated with it. Austin?
I'd say a game that affected me I played recently because it just came out. But it's not often that I stick on a game for a long time because I'm always busy, whether it be work or sports or whatever, school, whatever I do. And this game is a game that I actually sat for the first time in a long time. Just sat and just binge played. And that was Devil May Cry 5. That game, I mean, there's a couple things you could argue with, but I'd say the combat was really good. It kept me going. It was really entertaining to do. And just the whole story of it just really just kept me playing. And it was like a page turner book, for example. It just let me keep going, and it's just so active and so good that it's it's just one of those games like a movie. You can just sit and just watch through it, and you just hate to see it end. But
The Michael Jackson scene.
yes, that Michael Jackson scene just really, I was on my feet. It was good. But yeah, I'd say that game was a really good game that came out. It won one of the awards. I can't remember off the top of my head what award it was at the Game Awards this year, but it was definitely one of the games that really kept me going, especially since it's been a while.
Another one I would have would be Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Kind of for the same reasons Taylor said. It feels like the first thing in a long time from Star Wars that just hasn't been a plain cash grab. Disney doesn't seem like they're too invested with it. They just see the money they can make off of it.
Same with EA.
Yeah. And just seeing a multiplayer like gone from an EA game was amazing. A full single player story driven good game. Of the Star Wars franchise. I loved coming back to it, seeing all this lore, learning new stuff, going to planets that were mildly explored but not really.
Not having to pay to go to those planets.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, I think
Want to go at $14.99?
Gotta get
I
that
think
battle
one of my
pass, bro.
favorite parts about that game is the fact that it took a bunch of games that we love, like For Honor, just Star Wars in general, and other game that just put into one big, just beautiful game.
I also love how you look at the movies, you look at the Jedi, and they just kind of feel like almost invincible in a sort of way.
Yeah, just
You get in there, and you're not just all powerful because you have a lightsaber. You
Yeah.
can be beat by the smallest stormtrooper
Yeah.
if he gets the shot on you and you don't see it.
Yeah, and I love that because I feel like that was a really good story beat because it was a great thing for the combat and the story to make you a Padawan. Because here's the thing, I do not like it in the new Star Wars Expanded Universe, like with Kanan Jarrus from Rebels, and you see like these people and they like are so OP against like the Inquisitors, and then like someone mildly difficult shows up and they're able to fend them off for a little bit. Like having a 5-second fight with Vader when you're like a 12-year-old apprentice like Ezra. No.
No.
That's why I love that, you know what I mean?
Cal
Yeah.
got whooped.
Cal got
he
whooped.
barely made it out alive. He didn't even try and actually fight him.
Boy was running like Forrest Gump at the end of that game. He wasn't staying.
Alex, you want to say anything? You haven't really talked much.
I guess. Well, kind of unpopular opinion. I don't really like as story-driven games as much. I like to kind of go off and do my own thing, kind of fast-paced. So I like games like play a lot of Hunter Call of the Wild, a lot of battle royale games.
not bad.
Our boy carries us in Fortnite every time.
Yeah,
Every
God
time.
Dang, dude.
I just don't like really like the story. It just gets boring. Just like
You can't just
for me
sit there.
sitting there and
Yeah.
listening. But if you don't listen, it doesn't
Makes
fulfill
sense.
the game
Yeah.
as much as it should.
Yeah. But that's why too, like one of the reasons that I at the time like 2011 loved Skyrim was because I felt like I didn't have to be super invested in the whole Dragonborn storyline, because like if I wasn't interested in that quest line,
Could go do something with the
I could go do
Imperials.
something
and
with the
Stormcloaks.
Imperials. I could go, you know,
Yeah.
to town.
felt
a
like you had
city.
choice.
Yeah, I could go to a city and find out that there's a Daedric prince haunting a house, and I was like, what game is this again? Like, am I sure this isn't PT?
Awesome.
So, I think one of the best things about like for Alex's example, because he doesn't like big on like the nerdy game stuff like we are. He just plays like because he likes doing his own thing. I think one of the biggest things is he does things that he loves. Like for example, hunting. He plays Hunter Call of the Wild. That's what got him into it. And for another game that affected me, I'd say Skyrim was one of them. When I first started like seeing I seen an old buddy of mine play it, and I was like, oh wow, this game seems pretty cool. Was it? Oh, Skyrim. And the story of how I found out Skyrim was after I seen like my buddy play it. I was at Walmart and I was like, oh, what game should I get? And then I looked on the carts of like I don't think it was pre-owned, but it was like the cheaper ones. And Skyrim
yeah,
was there
sale.
on PS3. It was Skyrim because I didn't have a PS4 wasn't out at the time.
When Walmart used to have a PS3 and 360 section.
Yeah. I go and I grab the game. I'm like, all
Miss
right,
that place, man.
this game seems cool. I go and play it. One of the best games of my life because the thing about me is I love the fantasy world and I love all the action and stuff that has to do with it, all the magic, all the things that you can grow yourself into, a skill tree. Like
I think another episode we're gonna have to cover how far Bethesda's fallen from grace.
yeah.
Don't
a
even
long
get me
talk.
started.
Oh my god.
Don't
But
even get me started.
Started with horse armor.
That was an abusive relationship for many years that I feel like people in the community are finally starting to get over. Like, we've been to therapy. 76 was like that huge point where we got out of denial.
We were having our shoulders shook. And
Oh, yeah.
Trying.
They were gaslighting
alarms
us.
going off, and we just wouldn't wake up. And then 76 came
Yeah,
in.
I mean,
no, Bethesda was gaslighting the whole community with their, oh, guys, we swear, Creation Club isn't paid mods. It's not paid mods. What paid mods?
It's just little additions.
It's just little additions made by, verified modders, not Bethesda employees.
You know people that just like made huge mods for
Like,
free on
Yeah,
Mod Manager.
but like, here's the thing too: is like, I feel like some people went too far, like bashing on the creators. Like Eleonora, she's a really, really talented modder, and a lot of her content is awesome.
I don't give like any bad props to people who create it because they probably got paid a lot, and you can't really turn that down.
Exactly.
You've been pumping these up for free, and Bethesda approaches you, hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars if you kind
Here's
of
what
make this for
here's
us.
what I think that Bethesda should do
It's like, yeah, you gotta take it.
is instead of the Creation Club the way it is with Fallout 4, where it's basically just a worse version of mods that are available for free, it should be an actual partnership with Bethesda. I mean, how many studios do they have now? They've got one in like Austin, Maryland, Montreal. Like, have an actual side division of people teaming with modders to bring side content into the game. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. With Starfield, which is being rumored, and with the conundrum that is 76, and Bethesda's either going to support it or it's going to die, maybe they go back and look at bringing content to Fallout 4, because I don't think a good Fallout game is coming for a very, very long time, if ever.
I'm not the biggest fan of Rockstar. Right? They took a not as much needed gap in games. Like, I think, what was it, 5 years from when they released
Yeah.
GTA 5 to Red Dead 2. Like, that's all they made in that time. But I do have to give it to them that they could have easily just sold GTA 5 online at low amounts.
I give
People
them
would've
props
got
that.
No,
that
they-
could have been
they're
a side game.
free updates.
It could have been like a $20 side game with a stupid, subtitle underneath. GTA Criminal Enterprise, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You gotta pay for a
There's not really many people talk about like the story mode anymore because everyone's already played it and beat it. Like,
Yeah, what was
so
it,
quick.
2013 it came out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was
we've
dumb.
all
Okay,
had
that no. You just hit on a topic that actually triggers me, and that is the lack of single player content added to Rockstar games.
Yeah.
They do an online mode, and that is all you're going
That's all
to
they
get.
focus.
And here's the thing: it's like with GTA Online, some of the best unintentional humor is when actual good performance is being given by an actor, or like Lamar's talking to you about this mission all in depth, and 4 blank pug-looking faces stare at him quietly and just like Lego game emote like, huh? I like what this guy's talking about. Yeah, shaking my head. It reminds me of those Spider-Man and Elsa videos where like the high pitched kind of
Not
like,
Elsa Gate.
yeah, Elsa Gate, bro. Oh, what's this? Oh yeah, it looks fun. Mowing T. Bradbury.
Next topic, we got Newly games releasing coming up. What do we got? We got
Cyberpunk. We gotta talk about Cyberpunk.
Oh,
Okay.
Cyberpunk.
Okay.
I was gonna try and avoid it as long as possible.
Okay, we
Yeah,
all know
you guys
that
won't let me.
This is a game that's being hyped just like Fallout 76 was,
Okay.
but
I feel like it can live up to it.
I think it can live up to it. Fallout 76, we all knew like Bethesda's had their history and stuff.
Before it even came out, I was like,
I was
really
Okay,
multiplayer only.
One of the most
Gotta give us some
disappointing,
single
one of the most
player.
disappointing moments was like a week after that little teaser came out, and can't remember who it was. It was like Shinobi or one of the leakers who leaked a lot of content for Fallout 4. He even leaked the script, I'm pretty sure. But he was talking. He's like, "Guys, you're gonna hate me. It's online only," and everyone was in that stage of denial.
Nope,
Every
no,
Fallout
it's
YouTuber,
not.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It can't be. Bethesda would never. No.
I don't understand how you can do that though. You
I
take
don't-
your entire franchise that's a single player story driven game and you just hand it all over to online.
And you know what? I know we're supposed
the
to talk
Atom
about-
Shop.
I know we're supposed to be talking about Cyberpunk and that
Yeah.
beating on Bethesda is a dead horse, but the thing is that it's a dead horse where the more you kick it, it's like a piñata, and the more funny and hilarious things come out of it.
I also just I want them to acknowledge their mistakes. I want them to get better.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta
not Todd's little cute snide. I've heard on the internet that some of our games have bugs.
I don't want Starfield to crash and Bethesda's gone
They-
as a developer.
they- literally made-
because some people want them to be gone, and they're like, oh, but Obsidian will get the Fallout license.
won't.
It's like, when has anything ever worked out in favor of like
The underdog.
of the underdog, Obsidian? Like, I love them, and this Microsoft deal that they have now is either the worst or best thing that's ever happened to them as a
I love
company.
Outer Worlds.
I loved Outer Worlds. Beat it once. I want to get into it again. Got to sink my teeth into it more, but I did thoroughly enjoy it, and it made me, if anything, miss Bethesda more. Like my idea of Bethesda.
Because Bethesda could be so good.
They could.
They've made
got
so many
talented
good
people.
games
They've
that
got
are
talented
just-
people.
They've made such good games that completely made my gaming life. Like I love Fallout 4. Some people have their problems with it, but Fallout 4 is really good for me. And I think they should just
Yeah.
do what they can to
Like,
get back.
Coming into middle school, talking about the Daedric Prince side quests you did,
Yeah.
like comparing stuff
Oh,
you
yeah.
got.
I remember kids were talking about, yo, Black Ops 3, can't wait, yo.
No.
And I was like, yo, Fallout 4 comes out like 3 days earlier. You think I'm touching that game?
Yeah.
And Black Ops 2 was also a big bust for me because
It really
it
was.
just completely dozed off.
Yeah,
from
but,
Black Ops was.
Back to what we were talking about. Cyberpunk.
Yeah, newly coming out games.
Yeah, newly coming
Yeah,
out
yeah,
games.
yeah.
Back to Cyberpunk. All right. It is just one of those games that you get, and it feels like it's a one in a generation game. And here's the thing: is it's coming from one of the best studios out there right now when it comes to integrity
Yeah.
and to like actually following through with doing what they're supposed to do, and that's to provide entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, here's the
Hope
thing:
people aren't too harsh because it's
I-
building up
it's
such
building
a
up such
reputation.
it's building up such a reputation.
And
I know.
if there's even one thing off, people are getting.
I know.
1 out of
I know.
10.
Here's the- no.
I can't upgrade my
No.
This game sucks.
I know there's going to be 7s, 8s already, but here's the thing: is like for me, I've tempered my expectations, and I'm just expecting an experience that is similar, reminiscent in quality to The Witcher 3. That's all I expect.
Yeah.
Something because
Keanu.
they've always Keanu. Don't even get me
Love
started.
Keanu.
They've always improved upon their games. I played The Witcher 1 on PC, and it was on my brother's like 1060, and it looked nice texture wise, but Geralt looked like a shaved dog, and the combat didn't. It was literally running on an isometric game engine. I think it was one of the Baldur's Gate games, so you could literally play The Witcher 1 isometric style or in janky third person. And here's the thing: they admitted that they messed up, and you know what they did? They went right to town working on The Witcher 2. Great combat system, great story, really great branching path towards the beginning with like almost different character stories, whether you pick, Roach or whatever. And The Witcher 3, you know what I mean? It got a couple delays, but here's the thing: is like Fallout 76 could have used a couple delays. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Watch Dogs could have used a couple delays. to
Everything
those
that
graphics.
week was bad for us.
Mhm,
Stan Lee died.
died.
Then Fallout 76 and the canvas bags. And,
Canvas bag.
Oh my god.
See, that's the thing with these other
Yo,
games.
but
too.
now I got 2 West Tech bags. One for bringing out the garbage and one for putting the helmet in. So that's
like,
fun.
we got Doom coming out. That was delayed, wasn't it? And then we
Yeah.
got Cyberpunk delayed and all that. And
And-
everyone's saying it's for a good reason. So that's
yeah,
kind
I
of what
think
I'm hoping for.
I think 2020 is starting off with they're seeing a pattern. A lot of companies are that listen, if we just give people decent single player or just quality games, then people will flock towards it. Like EA, as much as I gripe on them, they've really DICE and EA have learned their lesson with Battlefront 2 when it comes to that game. I'm not saying that Battlefront 3 will be a great masterpiece, but so far, they've course corrected
It'll
in
ship
a lot of good
better.
ways. I think it'll ship better, and Battlefront 2 kind of became the game that it should have been, and I'm really
Yeah, I
proud
think
of
it
it.
did well.
It did well.
Christian, you got anything? Cyberpunk or any other games coming up you kind of excited for?
I really can't wait for Cyberpunk to come out.
Mm.
I'm so excited for that to come out. I think I'm gonna need to upgrade my computer
Yeah.
we
to
need
play
to get
it.
something. This summer,
this summer.
I'm pretty sure there's more jobs opening up. You need to come work with me.
I
Yeah.
will, yes.
You need to get your stuff upgraded.
Because I
What,
mean,
Athlon.
I'm building one for Cyberpunk.
You need to get you
like,
some Ryzen.
honestly, because there was some fan website, and it was like going by the different builds that they use for their gameplay demos. What do we think the minimum specs are? And then I was like building a list and comparing it, and it was like, oh, your system will run well on Cyberpunk theoretically, and I was just like, yes, because I want to have a great time in Night City. I can't wait. And something about the game, it's just one of those things that, like, a lot of passion, a lot of love, and I love the creator of the Cyberpunk universe, Mike Pondsmith. He is one of the chillest dudes out there. The controversy about body image that happened with, some stuff with the game, he's just straight up responded, I mimic the real world, and in the real world, there are greedy corporations like Apple, EA, Activision, who do not care that much about human rights or representation, and they'll find a means to exploit it. And FBI, you know what I mean? And they're, you know what I mean?
Probably on a watch
We've
list
seen this
now.
with Activision's...
I've been on a watch list for years.
Yeah, I've been on a watch list.
For what?
I don't want to
I
talk
don't
about
even
it.
remember at this point.
Can't talk about it here, man. But no, for sure, it's just like, with the, piss poor apology we got from, Blizzard Activision about that
Blizzard.
tough esports moment.
Blizzard needs to get their stuff together.
They do.
I try and play Modern Warfare on my PC here, right? It's on the Blizzard launcher. It's so stuttery and
It is.
laggy, and like I have a 2060 Super 3600X. It should not be lagging and stuttering at all. Like, I don't understand. And then the Warcraft 3 flop.
Oh yeah, Warcraft Reforged, and they were
They
promising.
pulled the Watch Dogs.
They were pulling a Watch Dogs. They promised all new graphics, remastered cutscenes with new CGI, actual movement of the lips and the faces. And then you see the actual game, and you literally, okay. I had a buddy of mine buy the game, and he literally told me that he could not tell the difference. Friend of mine, and he said
From what, the near 20-year-old one?
the near 20-year-old one. He had both them together because he heard about it, and he literally could hardly tell the difference. He said one ran slightly better, and it was the old one at day one. But that was just for him. I'm not saying that's universal, but
Some people out there may be loving it, enjoying it.
but
Playing it right now. But
let's not forget the Diablo
experiences.
Eternal flop, as
This
well
is
as
not a
the
season April Fool's joke.
yeah. Don't you guys have phones?
Don't you guys have phones?
Don't you guys have phones?
You don't have a phone? Are you some sort of loser?
Right,
Hey,
loser. Yo, I got two phones in my pocket.
Getting back on topic.
Yeah.
The game's coming out. Before we just go in depth with them, what else we got this year? We got
Resident Evil 3
Yep.
remake.
We got Doom Eternal coming out March.
I'm very excited for.
Doom Eternal's gonna be good. Res 3 remake comes
Yep.
out April.
Yeah.
What was the game that didn't get delayed?
No, it's
Or, it's April.
There was another
Is it
one.
April? Are you
It's
sure?
April. Yeah, it's the same time as Final Fantasy 7.
That was like
Yeah,
September.
that's the one.
No.
No,
Fantasy
I thought Final Fantasy 7 was this
Oh,
month
yeah.
now.
I can't remember.
Final
It's
Fantasy
so
7's this month.
Avengers
Sorry,
got delayed till September
Yeah,
with
that's,
Cyberpunk.
that's the
September.
other one. I'm
And-
so excited.
We
Yeah,
got
I
Last of
remember.
Us 2.
because
Oh, I am gonna be gone from society. I'm
yeah,
plugging
and
into Last of Us
here's
2.
the thing: as much as Cyberpunk broke my heart the day that I found out that it was delayed, because
I'd rather not have it be another 7.
yeah, I pre-ordered for my birthday present to myself. I was like, yo, collector's edition,
I'm
and
not
then
happy that it's delayed, but I'm also
I'm not
happy at the
happy,
same
but I
time
under-
because they could do some good shit.
I'm not happy, but I understand it. And mainly for me, the way I look at it is, you know what? It's kind of funny because there were rumors that Final Fantasy's getting delayed till April so they can compete with Cyberpunk, and then Cyberpunk gets delayed further, and then now it has to face off with the Avengers. Which I'm sorry, Square Enix, your game looks all right, versus a game that has monumental hype since 2013.
Yeah.
Can I just say,
You
I'm
know?
kind of scared for Avengers because that game, I'm gonna get so much hype for it, and it does look good. I'm just afraid that something that
It's
I
gonna
love
let
so
down.
much is just gonna get let
And
down.
here's the thing: is
Yeah.
with the Avengers game that's coming out, I feel like
Square Enix can do
it came out at the wrong time. If it came out pre Avengers Endgame, when hype was at its max, we were taking any new content we could get.
Anything about
we
Marvel
didn't,
was
we didn't
selling
care if it was just
millions.
anything Marvel. But here's the thing: Endgame. I'm not one of those people who says the MCU's over. That's asinine to even think that, because we've seen over and over how successful they are.
Keanu in the MCU.
Yeah,
Keanu in everything.
Keanu, everything. But people saying, lots of people won't go to new Avengers movies because Endgame provided a satisfactory. I know people who their first Marvel movie is Endgame and gotta go watch the others now, I guess.
yeah, literally.
And, but here's the thing too: is I think that the game might falter because of the success of the MCU. Because you look at those old Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, and they were very based off the comics. There were no movies coming out. The movie I think that came out during the second one was Iron Man, and that was they came out 3 months after The Dark Knight, so they didn't have to compete with Batman. And we look at the state of that franchise now.
Another thing is after all these movies and stuff that were so good and so put into. I mean, this is only a first game, but I feel like people are gonna expect way
Expect
too much
more.
for it. They're gonna expect way more than what's gonna actually
And
be
here's
in
the
there.
thing: is like, I feel like they completely missed the mark to tell a side story in the MCU. It's got the Marvel branding. Disney owns every single thing in existence now.
Disney owns like a third of the entire film industry.
Yeah, but they missed an opportunity to bank off that MCU thing. Because here's the thing: it doesn't matter if you say it's its own universe, blah 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 blah. People are going to compare it to the Avengers movies, and if you had Chris Evans' face as Captain America, I'm telling you, people are going to pre-order. If you had Robert Downey
Didn't they
Jr.
say he died in the trailer? Like Cap's just dead?
supposedly,
Yeah.
there's a statue of him. But
They
come on,
can't do that though.
We've seen in comic books
I'm
where
kind of thinking
someone dies.
he's gonna be like mind washed to be
feel
like,
like-
Yeah.
what Hydra soldier
Yeah,
come back
like
as like
the
type of Winter Soldier thing.
To me,
that
kind of
stupid
Bucky
comp,
has to
yeah.
like convert him maybe.
I think that Captain America looks a lot like just a standard police officer instead of a
Yeah,
super
he looks-
soldier. It's kind of weird.
He looks like he looks like Leon on steroids. You know, he looks
Yeah.
like. But maybe that's what they're going for. Like,
Maybe it's
if I were
something
doing
good.
a story with like a social commentary on the Avengers, I would make Captain America look like kind of a, every kind of stereotypical military man,
Because
oppressor.
also if you send him into like any spy work, you don't want him noticed right away.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've ever gotten enough information to know if they're actually fully together yet, or if they're separated like at the start of the game and they meet later. But I mean, it looks like they're still together and they're working together. But from like I've heard things about like them not actually like.
It
being
looks,
together.
from what I saw in the trailer, it looks like they're doing kind of a, the Avengers are like mildly established because they have that whole A-Day celebration, and then years later everyone's wallowing in sadness, and they come back together and they fight the bad guy and they overcome their differences. And it just seems like it's gonna be compared to that little movie called Avengers Endgame that came out with that same story beat. Like,
This is what scares me.
it scares
Christian.
me for it.
You hyped for anything else coming out?
Well, supposedly sometime Rainbow Six Quarantine's supposed to be coming out,
Yep.
Yeah, that looks pretty
that
good.
seems
and my opinions have completely shifted on Rainbow Six Siege ever since I restarted playing it. So now I'm actually kind of hyped for a new Rainbow game to be coming out.
That was something
That
else
was
I
fun.
played on the N64. Original Rainbow Six. Oh my god, that was so good.
Yeah.
It was also so bad.
I remember
like what wasn't much different. I mean,
It
of
was
course,
way-
it's
no,
like
it was
64
way
different.
no, it was way different than Siege. Siege is like basically
Online.
it's online, but it's totally like a SWAT officer simulator kind of.
Siege is
See-
kind of like a.
It's a spin-off. It's like a Hardline. It's like a Battlefield Hardline spin-off kind of
Yeah.
cop
It's
robber
like a-
terrorist theme.
Original at Rainbow Six was like
Soldiers.
going in at night,
And it was like a
Night
squad of
vision.
soldiers.
taking
yeah.
out this
It
place,
was-
saving
it was-
hostage.
Oh,
Yeah.
that seems good though.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
seems good.
But I remember too is that there was one that came out around, I think it was, maybe 7th generation, 360 kind of, and
Oh,
it was-
Rainbow Six Vegas.
Vegas, that's the one. I played that a ton with my older cousin, and I had loads of fun. I cannot attest as to whether or not that game was good because I played the movie tie-in G.I. Joe 2011 game with him, and it was like a weird third-person beat-em-up shooter, and we had tons of fun. But I'm pretty sure it was because he was drunk the whole time, but it was fun. And I look back and I tried to play the game, and I literally could not bear it.